Hello, everyone. I'm Tracy, and I have a really important announcement that I wanted to make, and I wanted to get this out as soon as possible. So Shane and I put a presentation together. The main topic here is going to be about a meeting that will be held on the 20th, so this coming Wednesday, for the police commissioners. So every month, the 9 Maui police commissioners come together and they discuss agenda items. Now, through my investigation, I brought up a lot of examples of the, the mishandling of the Lahaina fire. And a lot of that stems from the leadership or lack of leadership from the Maui Police Department, mainly Chief Pelletier, who is the highest ranking officer of the department. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so before you leave, and like, comment, and share this video, especially if you know someone on Maui that would like to attend, or if you know someone that wants to put through a written testimony. Please share this so that they know that this meeting is coming up. And let me go over the reason that this meeting is so important, and it's mainly because we have a whistleblower that came forward. His name is Grayson Ibarra, and he owned the company that did the morgue services on the 8th of August. And he has come forward and said that there was a lot of mistakes made and protocols were not followed. And people that lost loved ones in this event are now unsure if that urn that they have contains their loved one. Now, I'll let you hear what he says.
H&N investigates the alleged mishandling of human remains in the days after the Lahaina wildfire. Tonight, the head of a forensic morgue team hired by the Maui Police Department claims protocols for the respectful and accurate recovery of victims were not followed. Our Allison Blair reports.
Grayson Ibarra first brought this problem to the attention of H&N Investigates more than a year ago. But it wasn't until recently, when his contract ended with the Maui Police Department, that he was finally able to speak publicly.
For more than a decade, the owner and morgue operations director at Graytech LLC was contracted by the Maui Police Department to provide post-mortem care for the island's departed. In the hours after flames erased Lahaina, MPD called Ibarra into action.
All the mass casualty training exercises that I've attended to, it was time to act upon.
So this was something that you were prepared for?
Correct.
But in the weeks after the fire, at least 2 families expressed concern about a possible mix-up with their loved ones' remains.
That's why you would need qualified personnel who has experience, know what partially cremated remains look like, to process these scenes and recoveries in a dignified and efficient manner.
Ibarra says at the time of discovery, each person who perished needed to be assigned a unique ID number, have photographs and GPS coordinates taken where they were found, and their remains placed in a post-mortem pouch for transport to the morgue for an autopsy.
You don't make up your own rules as you go. There are operating field guides and plans put into place to follow to make sure that everything's done in accordance and respectfully.
Ibarra says he provided MPD leadership with a copy of Maui County's Mass Fatality Operations Plan and a field guide that explained step by step what needed to be done. The Maui Police Department's preliminary after-action report echoes some of that confusion, saying early on it was discovered that some body bags contained commingled remains.
They were only doing what they had been ordered to do. Meanwhile, we asked Maui Police Department leadership what, if any, training it's provided its officers to prepare for future disasters. Another question the department chose not to answer.
All right, so that is confirmation that the remains of the victims were not handled properly the way they were supposed to. And so there is a good chance, and I believe they did notify the families that there's a good chance that the remains they're either not complete or they contain remains of someone else. And I'll just speak from personal experience. In the Japanese culture, it's imperative that the person's remains stay together. They're cremated and kept together in perpetuity, because that is, I guess, the way, it's just the way it's done. We don't like separate ashes and, scatter them places. It's very important that they are kept whole. And I don't think the Japanese culture is unique in that sense. I'm also going to play a clip from a group that is onto this, and I'll let you hear what they have to say.
Head of a government watchdog group is urging Maui's Police Commission to publicly question Chief John Pelletier about MPD's response in the days after the Lahaina wildfire.
Now, government watchdog group Common Cause Hawaii is calling on the Maui Police Commission to get answers to questions Chief John Pelletier is refusing to acknowledge. On October 3rd, H&N Investigates sent this media request asking if proper protocols were followed. We also inquired about the department's use of training recruits, if there was a rush to recover remains, and what, if any, steps the department has taken to prepare for future disasters. None of those questions were answered.
Why not talk to us? There's comfort in the sunshine. Step into the light. The police commission could have him come in and answer questions in a public forum. I think that is critical. I think that it's also well overdue.
There are also questions regarding why MPD leadership chose to assign the acting captain of technical services, a job that deals with things like contracts and capital improvement projects, as Lahaina's daytime incident commander the morning after the fire.
Any experience or training or certifications for large incidents like this that you brought with you?
As far as like mass casualty events or training, no, sir.
We asked MPD to explain its decision. We're waiting for a response.
It is the height of recklessness. Are we to believe that there was nobody of senior management level that had mass casualty training within that whole department?
H&N Investigates sent emails to the Maui Police Commission, every member of the Maui County Council, and to Mayor Bisson's office, asking how they plan to address claims MPD botched the Lahaina recovery process. Not one official answered that question, to which Hurt had this to say.
Your testimony matters. Second, the police commission, you can show up, you can testify, you can offer written testimony.
We've posted everything you need to know about how to testify at those meetings on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com.
And I'll also make a post with the details about the meeting, how to, if you're going to do a walk-in or if you're going to do a written testimony. And I'll go over those details very shortly. And then there's one more clip I'm going to do about the complaints about the mismanagement of the remains.
H&N Investigates an apparent mix-up documented on emails. As our Allison Blair reports, it's information the victim's family says they knew nothing about.
On September 18th, 2023, a pathologist contracted by Maui PD sent an email from a personal Gmail account to an employee with the department's then morgue contractor, Gray Tech LLC, stating remains initially thought to belong to one person actually belonged to someone else. When the morgue employee asked if she should explain the situation to the mortuary, the pathologist replied, "Use your discretion." She wanted to make sure the family received an explanation. Cameron Hurt heads up the government watchdog group Common Cause Hawaii.
Why is it important for families to be told the truth?
On the most basic level, it's their loved ones. It's the final closure. Whether you are spiritual or not, getting the remains of your loved ones and being able to say goodbye to them, it's the least anybody can ask for. It really makes you question the kind of leadership that we do have.
Identification numbers that were supposed to be issued immediately after that person's discovery weren't assigned until victims had been moved at least 2 different times. Department leadership also admits seeing photographs and GPS coordinates weren't obtained in every case. MPD also says there were instances where body bags were not used. The department now claims its responses were misrepresented or taken out of context, adding, "We will no longer comment on this matter." Meanwhile, H&N Investigates maintains that the statements in question are supported by eyewitness accounts, interviews conducted as part of the Attorney General's investigation, and the department's own after-action report.
It is very much the fault of leadership management from the chief down.
What's your message to the police commission?
Silence won't save you. We're listening. We're paying attention. We're focused. We want answers.
The Maui Police Commission is one of the only agencies that has the authority to call the Maui Police Chief in and have him answer questions in a public forum. We've repeatedly asked the commission if that will happen at its next meeting on November 20th. We're waiting for a response. Allison Blair, Hawaii News Now.
Allison, thank you. Common Cause Hawaii has launched a social media campaign demanding transparency from Maui Police. Again, the public's invited to that Maui Police Commission meeting Wednesday, November 20th at the County Service Center in Kahului.
So if you have an opinion on this, I urge you to show up to this meeting in person. I think that would be the most impactful. But if you can't, please send a written testimony. And again, I'll put those details in the description, and we'll most likely put a post together by Monday. Now, let me go into a little bit of the details of the meeting. Again, November 20th at 10 a.m. And you do need to show up at 10, and you're supposed to have, need to know what the agenda items that you will be addressing. And I'll go into that shortly. So right here is in Kahului. And these meetings happen every month, although because of the reporting that Allison Blair has been doing, her amazing work has gained awareness with the public. And now the commission knows that people are planning to attend, and they have gotten many phone calls of complaints. And so there's some momentum going right here. I think it's a really good time to get involved if you do want to say something and do want to complain about the mismanagement of the horrible fire last year, as well as problems with the police chief, John Pelletier. And I have so many videos I've done about that topic, and I'll link some of those in the description. Okay, so one of the agenda items that is very important is the evaluation of the police chief. So I'm not sure how often he gets this. It might be once a year, I'm not sure. But with this evaluation, it's imperative that it is brought up that in order for Pelletier to get this position, he lied on his resume. Right here is the first listed in his accomplishments that he was the incident commander at the mass shooting in Mandalay Bay in 2018. And so he was not the incident commander. I know a lot of people do think he is because that's what he said he was. He did the after action report, but this is the man who was the actual incident commander. His name is Ray Spencer. You could find information on him, and there's a documentary about him as well. Something that his Chief Pelletier's management style. He caused a lot of senior officers to retire or resign. One of those being Assistant Chief Clyde Holokai. He had been with the department for 28 years. And he said that working under the chief was so stressful that he felt like he had no choice but to retire early. And he wasn't the only one. So it was a very, very stressful, very hostile work environment. And that's a quote. That's what they said. So yeah, so those two, one more, the agenda item 8 here is about that, about how the chief brought a hostile work environment to the department, and that these complaints have not been properly addressed, and really no repercussions on the chief for the many complaints that he has faced. I believe there are at least 8 official complaints from members of the Maui Police Department. So it's long overdue that someone bring this up. And I urge anyone that's able to attend to please do so. I know Allison Blair will be there, so there will be someone recording this. And yeah, I would love to go if I was a little bit closer. I do live in California, but I wanted to let as many people know so that you can get involved. So yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to bring up for this video. I do want to also acknowledge our new members. So we launched memberships last month, and I am going to give them a shout out. So here, Gayleen Barron Saxon, Frank Lopez from Texas, Steve Martin in Japan, Christine Queno, Karen D. Filippo, CB Wright, Eileen Hargis, Connie Gomez, and Angelo Lea. So thank you so much for the members, and the memberships give you like priority with comments. So we'll reply, first to your comments. And then we're also going to put together member-only polls that will allow you to, give your opinion on how we decide on future content. And we also have a private Telegram chat group that you could communicate with us on. So thank you so much for the members. And that is going to do it for today. So thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.